All right, what's up, y'all?
Hey, y'all, we back. One more again. 30 times in one day. Y'all just don't know.
3 times, it really been 5. But
Yo, we don't need to talk about it.
It
We
really
don't
been
need to talk
5.
about it.
But we ain't gonna talk about all that, y'all. We are excited to be back. We have had a day.
We have had a day, but it's been a great day.
It has been. It's been fun.
Yeah.
We have recorded 3 episodes in one day, as you can tell from the 2 previous episodes that we are.
We didn't change our Thursday.
We didn't try to trick y'all. Like we tried.
No.
We're still gonna keep the thing rocking and rolling.
That's it. But the Education Playmakers is back. That's really all that matters.
That's it.
Michelle Marcus coming to y'all.
Live, and outside. Alright, we ain't
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all just don't know. This is not for the weak. Okay, it's really not, because you have to be able to laugh at yourself. You have to be able to laugh at your mistakes and just recover real fast and keep going. So that's what we're doing. So we just bust out laughing for no reason. Y'all just
bear with us. We be having technological issues, but it's okay.
It's all good. We on track.
Because this is what we do in the real world of education.
Listen.
We adapt and overcome real quick. And we've done did it twice today.
Period, Pooh.
We could have had 5 whole episodes before you played around with us. But we got 3 done. That's what matters.
It's fine.
And as y'all know, I am Marcus.
I'm Nisha.
And we're the Education Playmakers. We are the main 2 Education Playmakers, but you'll get to meet some of my friends every now and then. And we're excited about that.
Yes, indeed.
But today we have a topic. It is entitled Voices Amplified, Understanding Minority Students. And we're excited about this topic. This is going to be a good topic. But before we get there, for the second time, we gotta do our how do we get here?
How did we get here?
And so let's go ahead and do our how do we get here?
Retake.
So we remix it right now. So how do we get here? My fiance's mom caught me on a Tinder date, and she punched me in my face. Give me a second, put it on the screen for y'all. And she punched me in my face. I let it slide. I didn't press charges because I didn't want to upset my fiance Marshall. That was my first mistake. She told Marshall I cheated, but I denied it. Marshall told his mom that we have to work it out for the sake of our son. Then his mom gave our son a DNA test behind my back. We found out that Marshall is not the father on paper. But after being his father for 3 years, I expected Marshall to be a better man and fight for our family. But no, Marshall is a mama's boy, and he has moved back with his mama. Marshall's mama is a manipulative beast, but I can't let her win. Marshall is the future husband I deserve, and I need help getting him to come back home to me. And Marshall Jr. advice.
Marshall, you better run. You better stay where you are. If you staying at your mama's house, don't get yourself back on your feet. Whatever it is that you need to do. This trick, no, that ain't it. You deserve better than that.
Marshall, you need to be like your mama. You need to stand on business. Your mama stood on business and she bopped her in the face. Oh, let me give out a disclaimer. Go ahead. Our views and opinions are ours and ours alone. They don't represent anybody else's. We said that at the advice of legal counsel. We do not condone fighting or bullying.
No, we don't. We don't condone violence or bullying on any other sort. We don't engage in none of that because we're professional.
And everything we say is alleged, so now they can't sue us.
That's it. Yeah, put that out there.
Put that out there.
Your mama know.
But no, for real though, he needs to stand on business like his mama. His mama hit her in the face, and he need to go ahead on and keep it pushing. Because there was 2 things: she cheated, in my perspective, and people are going to differ.
Yeah,
people differ about what cheating is and what it looks like. She on a date with a man she met on Tinder. She was on Tinder for it. She had been on it for a period of time.
She's clearly in a relationship. Yes, that's cheating.
Yeah. She had to be on Tinder for a period of time.
Yeah,
she had to engage with him.
Yeah,
I'm of the belief, depending on how old they are, she had to talk on the phone and FaceTime the person. And if they don't got FaceTime, you can send somebody a link who don't got an iPhone. So,
but she had to engage at some point to determine whether he's a real person or not, and then they had to make these arrangements. And because you're out on a whole date with this Tinder dude. Well, why are you on Tinder?
Then they have a whole movie about the Tinder man killing folks.
I don't know.
Yeah, I need you to look at it. Okay, but yeah.
Listen, these dating apps, I don't know, but Tinder, that's swiping right, you swipe left, swipe right, swipe this, that, whatever. Okay, so why are you swiping on Tinder when you have a whole fiance at home? Like, why are you on date? What is it that you're still looking for? And if you're still looking for something, why are you with this man? Don't waste his time. Don't waste his time. His mama punched you in your face and you said, I didn't press charges because I didn't want Tinder swindler on Netflix. Well, it is a thing.
No.
Y'all being on them dating apps and stuff, you got to be more careful.
And see, the thing is, you see that director for Don't F for My Cats Hunting and Internet Killer.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I'm scared.
I'm sorry, I had to show that.
I'm scared of things like that. That's the
thing. So, like, before people go out on dates with people on social media or not dating apps, you
have to do some investigating.
They're doing investigating. So I know
that
this wasn't just like, I met you 1 hour ago.
Right, because you're not meeting these people in person and then, talking to them and getting to know them, going out. This is on Tinder, on an app. And then you're potentially inviting danger into your home. You're inviting danger into your family because you meet strangers online because you can't be satisfied with your fiance if you're not happy. Then but you said that's the future husband I deserve. No, you don't. He needs to stay far away from you. He need to find and the Marshall Jr. ain't even his. You're just a cheater. Period. You're a cheater. You done had a whole baby by a whole nother dude. How long were you messing with him? How long were you messing with both of them at the same time? Or however many men you were messing with? Is this what you do? Okay, many men. Because it sounds like it's something right here. But I didn't press charges because I didn't want to. You didn't have to press charges. All you needed to do was stop the bush, stop what you were doing.
Yeah, I want you.
And
we're gonna figure that out.
Not lie about it because you were already caught, boo. You were caught. You may have been able to. Well, it sounded like he was willing to work it out. Yeah. He said y'all needed to stay together for the sake of your son, who's not even his son. And how dare you say we found out on paper that he ain't his daddy?
I don't know. That's a mess.
A whole out of control mess. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding what's happening. Marshall Sr., you have the nerve to name that baby after that man knowing damn well that wasn't his child. I'll say you knew that there was a possibility.
You know it was a possibility that one
that he was
crazy.
That is crazy. And even then, you could have told Marshall, you could have been like, hey, I'm pregnant, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We need to do a DNA test or whatever, and you decide what you want to do from here.
Move,
I don't want to take that from you. That's just, this whole thing is foul. She has taken 3 years. She's taken so much time from this man, and I mean, obviously they were probably together for a minute before she even got pregnant.
Yeah.
And the child is 3. That's shit. Your pregnancy is almost a year itself. But 10 months, 9-10 months, you know.
I think the advice that we just gave is great. I think that Marshall needs to move on. I think a lot of them be like, a lot of I had to give his.
Marshall's mama ain't gonna let you come. She let him come back to you.
He had a good mom.
Oh, dude, she was. What you say? Stand on business.
Yeah, she's standing on business. Know what the kids said on top.
Stand on business. Do that,
y'all. That's our advice.
Marshall, stay away from that chick. She ain't the one for you. She is not the one for you.
Yeah, I mean, we almost had to do a 6 recording. We almost had to do those 6. Cause this setup died. I would get over it. All right, y'all.
He over here playing.
No, not, I don't know why we forget to plug in everything every time.
I don't either. What's really going on?
We do that every time.
We do that every time. You don't sex me.
It is both of us. We both
you right. Okay, fine.
You know, so like I said, our topic today is voices amplified, understanding minority students. I think this is interesting because we are both people of color. In a lot of places, we be considered minorities.
We Black.
Yeah. And
yes,
understanding minority students is not as easy for us as it comes out, as people make it seem, because we are Black, so we're supposed to understand Black kids. It's not how it really works. Mm-hmm. And so it's definitely not easy for people of different races. Mm-hmm. I remember telling you about this book called For White Folks Who Teach in the Hood, and the rest of y'all too.
Yes,
by Dr. Christopher Edmond.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
It's a really good book. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. He also has a book called Wretchedemics. He doesn't sponsor us, but he's like.
It's called what?
Wretchedemics. He's a really I think one probably book. I got both of them. Yeah. So it makes me think of back to that, right? But it also, for me, is like, I can't connect with every single. Well, I can. It takes learning, but I can't easily connect with every single student of color. Right. Every single minority student. Right. Mm-hmm. I don't understand some of the upbringings of Hispanic students. I don't understand some of the upbringings of certain Asian students. Right. Right. So to understand them, we have to give them a voice to be able to tell us about themselves, to be able to tell us the things that they went through, the things they like, but they have to feel comfortable first. Right. And once they didn't do that, then we can understand it. It's the same thing with African American students. Mm-hmm. Some things they went through, I just didn't go through. So there's not an immediate, I can't connect with it. Mm-hmm. But if we give them that space, and we talked about these safe spaces before, if we give them that space to feel comfortable, now be able to understand it, and then I can be able to really give it to you. But so that's why we have to really amplify those voices, give them a voice in everything. Absolutely. So that then we can be able to understand minority students. Right. I agree. You're right. We do have to give them. We have to create those spaces. And you know, the first thing is we have to make that our priority. We have to want to be able to make those connections with them. You know what I'm saying? We have to want to, and then we have to make that desire, that practice a priority. It has to be just part of what we do every day. And you know, for some of us, it comes naturally. You know, even like you said, you know, you can't necessarily connect with all students at the same pace, at the same level. Yep. But at some point, you know, we get there. That's because that's who we are, and that's something that's important to us. But for those of us who don't see the value in that or the importance of that, we're not doing it, and that shows. We're not. Those people aren't giving those students a voice. They're not making sure that they know they have a voice and that they want their voices to be heard. Yeah. They're over talking and overshadowing them all the time is what they're doing, and trying to stifle. Yeah. Trying to stifle that. But
people really do have to realize that unless we, and I know we've said this before, unless we make those connections and try to meet our students where they are, they're not giving us anything. They're not going to perform for us. They're not going to do anything for us. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it is, I think it's incumbent upon us to really make sure that we are working hard to get them to understand where we're coming from. I want to just show this cover of this book if I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all know I don't know what I'm doing. So let me make sure that I know what I'm doing. Here you go. Okay. So I just wanted to share this cover of this book.
He's trying to be all fancy and everything. He done been playing with this thing over the break, and I don't know nothing. So
I just want y'all to know.
I love it.
Yeah, because this is the book by Dr. Christopher Edmond, and is entitled For White Folks Who Teach in the Hood and the Rest of Y'all Too. And that's because we want, and it's properly titled. It's everybody making those connections and understanding minority students, and not just us. So I think that that's huge for us to understand.
Our campuses, like the minority, the true minority on each of our campuses does not look like us.
Yeah.
They don't look our students, and Black and brown students, are actually the majority.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, we're always the minority.
Yeah.
We're always going to be the minority. So I think in our situations, we have to kind of be a little more aware, because there's so many more of us and so few of them, that I think that's what we focus on mostly. You know what I'm saying? We focus on that minority, majority, whatever, however you want to. I'll have to be honest. When I see some students, I'm like, oh. And I jokingly say all the time, we only got about 10 white kids on our campus. Yeah. And that's what it seems like. That's what it looks like. But so when I see them, I'll be like, oh. And it's not like we're not just in this urban area where it's mostly Black or mostly, Hispanic or whatever. But I think in that case, sometimes I be just focused on my kids.
I agree. And that's what people resort to. They go to what they know, right?
Yes.
And honestly, even with having working in schools now that have large Hispanic populations, it is still a learning curve for me to understand, because even understanding those things culturally, right?
Yeah.
How do they feel about education?
Yes.
Because some people have told me that, and this is not me saying, but this is like what I've been told, is like some Hispanic cultures, they rely on the school to do the educating, right? They don't like step in because they look at educators as a professional and they trust what you're saying and what you're doing. So it's not a bad thing if you don't see them at the school, or if they're not calling the school, or if they're not emailing the school. It's because if you say that this is what's best for my child, I'm going to trust you in it.
Yeah.
And then in other cultures, that is not the case.
That's not the case.
So you have to understand the cultural relevance of it and understand, is this where they're coming from in this, before we make assumptions and then make these judgments and then start to prejudice students because we made these assumptions and judgments.
Yeah, that's true. And another thing too is, you know, culturally speaking, like the students, especially a lot of male students, they respond differently to different staff and different races. Like I've heard time and time again from, you know, people of Hispanic backgrounds, Hispanic culture, that, you know, Hispanic males, you know, they look at moms a certain way. They look at the women of the family a certain way, and they are up here, the women are here, and, you know, and they bring that into the schools. And so me as a Black woman saying something to a kid, you know, they might be looking at me like, you know, and just different things like that. I can't take that personally necessarily. I have to be able to understand, okay, well, this is kind of how they rock at home, you know. But at the same time, you know, we have to get them to understand the importance of listening to authority. It doesn't matter who the authority is. It doesn't matter what they look like. This is an authority figure, and this is what you do. But for the most part, you know, there's not a whole lot of that, but sometimes, you know, it comes up. But when they get to know you and, you know, kind of, I guess, respect you in a way, it kind of dissipates a little bit, you know. It will. But and
I think that's anybody. And sometimes and for me, I come off very strong at times. But once you get to know me, that's not me 24/7, but I just need to lay down some rules and then let's back up. And that's honestly the reason why I like this, because it's how I was taught. Like, I was taught, you go into a classroom, you lay down the law. And you lay it down for the first 6 weeks.
That's right.
And you don't take your foot off the gas until you 6 weeks in.
That's right.
And then let them see that you're a person. Is that the best way to do it? Right way to do it? I don't know. It's worked for me. Does it work for everybody? No. It has worked for me every single time. Then they come back, I love you. I thought you were crazy, all this stuff. But they know. Then they know, like, this man cares
that
about
you're
me.
Human. And that you care. That's right.
But don't worry, I ain't gonna let up too much.
Right.
You gotta be successful in the world.
Getting away with everything.
No, you might have a few days where I don't teach. I'm saying my praises don't know that, but maybe a few days I don't teach. And the kids knew if somebody walk in, we all better have that same math tab open. It's your free day. You earned it. Exactly. And them kids knew if we beat every other class on our district test, you gonna get a reward. You worked hard.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
You worked hard. So I think that really understanding that, and then that I think a lot of stuff transcends races. I think is understanding kids, because I think about me as an adult. Somebody came in at me and just rah 24/7. It's gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna have to get a new job, and 9 times out of 10, I ain't leaving. Which I'll leave school in a heartbeat, but I ain't gonna leave me at you.
Right.
So somebody gonna have to give up.
Yeah.
And if 2 people really pushing like that, we ain't gonna ever get along.
That's true.
So you got to get to know me at a certain point. Now you can't come in and be like, these are the rules, expectations. I expect you to be on time. If you don't be on time, that's gonna be an issue. I expect you to be at the threshold. If you're in that threshold, there's gonna be an issue. Tell me your expectations.
Yeah.
I need to know them so that there's no issue there. But if everything is just you yelling and coming at me,
I'm not.
Yeah. I'm not gonna respond. It's not. You're not gonna be receptive.
And students are the same way.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be receptive either.
Especially your big kids. Your kids think they grown. My kids think they grown, but y'all kids really think they grown.
Yeah, and they're bigger than me. All of them.
Yeah.
They all. But and you know, if we don't, it's like somebody, it's like you said, you come in here, you tell me what people still, you know, we all have to get to know each other on some level.
Yeah.
It can't just be, well, you do this and you do that, and then I'll do this and I'll do that. It's, you know, relationships have to be formed across the board.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You know, we have to find ways to relate to each other. We have to find ways to relate to the students, and we have to understand and respect the differences, the cultural differences, all of it. And we have to teach the students to do the same thing. Like, we're not all the same, guys. We're not all the same. We weren't all raised the same. We don't all have the same backgrounds, all of that kind of stuff. We don't all have the same, you know, ambitions and all of that kind of stuff. So we have to be understanding, and we have to be tolerable and respectful as well. And they have to be able to see themselves in everything.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, you know, we have to instill it in them. You can do this, and you can do that, and you can be this, and you can be that. And I understand this is the way that you want to go, but what else are you thinking about?
Yeah, because
you got to have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C, D, E, F, G sometimes. Even.
Because a lot of times we only know what we see in our immediately in front of us, what our parents did, what maybe a couple friends know. And if we don't give them more, or even give them an opportunity to research this stuff. Because if I could have taught a class, I really enjoy teaching math, but if I could have gave one of my math sections and taught like a class on like how to have those classes on college and career ready. If I could have taught one of those classes where we go through units and we look at different types of jobs.
Yeah.
We look at different types of trades. We look at what you got to do to get in school.
Yeah.
Because if I had that class, if I had that class in school, I don't know if we'll be seeing right now, honestly.
And you know, that's another thing too. Like we have to make sure that students are ready for the real world. However that looks to them. Not all students are going to go to college. You know, there are some cultures where it's expected that you get your high school diploma or whatever, and then you take your ass to work. You're going to work, and you're going to help provide.
Yes. You do stuff like that.
Yes, you work the family business, or you carry on with that or whatever. You may be going to the military. You know, it's if those are things that we need to know too, and honor and respect. You know,
I agree with you to an extent, to honor and respect. I think that and it's just a belief of mine, of course, it can't impose on people. But I think that kids should do one of three things, just as a backup, right? Even if you have those family things, and some families have money to be able to do a lot of things. And those kids that have money, some go to college, some don't. But I think you should go to college, or a trade,
or learn a trade,
or go to the military. I think those three things, one of those three things should set you up for success. Even if you do trade part-time, like the school part-time, college part-time, or even the military part-time, you do the military part-time. But you're set up for success with one of those three things. Even if I'm running a family business, I may be in the military, I got to go 1 weekend a month. Even if I'm running a family business, I may be in HVAC or I may be in plumbing. I'm doing that part-time. Because now I have other things that I can do. Because what if I don't really want to do the family business? I get it that my family wants me to do, but what if that's not something I want to do?
I think that everybody should be able to choose. And it's like if you're not going to go to a 4-year school, if you're not planning to get it to get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or an associate's degree or whatever, yes, go learn a trade. But there are some who all they're going to do is work for a living, and that's fine. That's your path.
And if you're gonna work for a living, those trades will set you up for so much money. And there are trades out there that I just see. Thank you, sweetheart. There are trades out there that I just didn't know even existed, or how much money you could make from it.
And that's why the career and technology programs are so important. And we offer, our district offers all of those different pathways. And sometimes you may not go necessarily to your feeder, but you go to a different high school, but you can still, you still have access to that education.
They may not even, they may get a certificate, may not do their work, but I've exposed myself to something. Now in my head, I know I can do more than what I was ever told I could do.
And we talk a lot about, relationships and building relationships and, just getting to know students and all of that kind of stuff. I have a student who, like, his family came from Venezuela. He and his mom came over here. He still has family over there. But when I tell you this clown bounces around, runs up and through those halls like nobody's business, ain't never in class, and I'd be like, I'm gonna snatch you.
Yeah.
You would never guess that he knows how to build PCs, that he built his own PC. You would never guess that he created a game. Like he wrote this program. Yeah. And you would just never guess. And I'm like, he's bored. He don't go to class because he's bored.
Yep.
He ain't running around here skipping because he's just, he's not a bad kid, and I know that, but he's this isn't interesting to him at all. Does somebody need their computer fixed or something? Because what can we do? Because I need to know where this clown is at all times when he's in this building. But I need him to be doing something. I need him to be productive, and he told me one day he had to come to my office earlier this school year, and I was like, what are you doing here? What happened? He told me, Miss, I gotta get that class. And like, what's the problem? So we're just talking, and I asked him, what do you want to do when you get out of school? What do you want to be when you grow up? And he told me, he said something about the military. I was like, oh, okay. You want to? I said, all right, well. He was like, I like computers. I want to be a programmer. I'm like, really? He said, yeah, I built my own PC. I was like, what? I'm intrigued. You know what I'm saying? And like, we so very often make assumptions.
Yep, there you go.
We so very often make assumptions and unfair assumptions. And, even us sometimes as minority educators, we make assumptions about our students. I mean, we do, because we're human. Doesn't make it right. It's not an excuse or whatever, but I'm just admitting that that's sometimes what we do. Yeah. But birds out there chirping, the rain and stop. Look, but it's important to get to know what makes our students tick, what they work for, and what they're working towards.
And you just said that you gave them a voice, and I think that for me, that embodies everything that I wanted to get across in this episode, is that we have to give students voices. We have to elevate their voices above ours, because we don't know everything. You can learn so much from kids, but also we don't know what they went through. We don't know what they're going through currently if we don't have those conversations, if they don't feel comfortable telling us. We don't know what they're going to do next if we don't have those conversations to talk to them. And that is how you break through, in my opinion, with minority students. Is it easy? Are we sitting here talking about it and it sounds easy, but it's not easy. But you have to be willing to put in the work and the effort in order to understand them, because what they know is their small community of whatever they come from, or wherever they're at. And a lot of times we just continue to do what we've seen happen And that's it. Oh, my parents graduated from high school. All I had to do is graduate from high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why there's so many first generation college grads, because people are starting to break those cycles now.
Yeah. And that's because we've given them a voice and we've listened to their voices, and we've strived to, meet their needs so that they can, be successful, and so that they can go on to do whatever it is that they feel like they want to do. And people need to stop getting so caught up in, well, this culture does this and this culture does that. It don't matter. It doesn't matter, because like you said, we have to elevate everybody's voices and make sure that we're not over talking them and trying to tell them what's best for them when they're telling us what they feel is best for them and what it is that they want to do and what's going to give them some satisfaction. I mean, because that's why we're here. We're here to help them reach those goals and help them be successful.
I think that's just it right now. I think this was another great episode. Look at us. We done powered through.
We done.
We've been here all day. We did this, learning new platforms and stuff.
Yeah, we hungry now.
Yeah, we hungry. We had them. All I had was a little lavender lemonade.
Okay, all I had was coffee.
So I gotta put some food in me now.
I'm telling you.
We're super excited that y'all continue to come back and watch our episodes. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the little notification bell button. We sooner or later we're gonna get on some other platforms other than YouTube right now. We building, we learning, we gotta be good in this first.
Yes, we gotta be good in this first.
But we're excited, and y'all know we Education Playmakers. Follow us on all our social media.
Follow us, please. Engage with us. Let us know what y'all want to talk about. Let us know what you want to hear about. And if you have any, book recommendations, drop those. If you have other podcast recommendations, drop those. We love to hear about it.
And we're supportive around here.
Yes, we are. Because we can't get nowhere without each other. So it's gonna start raining again. Boy, look here now. Look. Listen, this is the tail end of spring break. And this.
We excited. As always, I'm Marcus.
I'm Misha. We'll see y'all next week.
Y'all
Education
next week.
Playmakers.